Today we hope to show you some of the places you can go on your cruise. So like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if there's a cruise offering you want to know more about. Welcome back to our channel, where today we're going to take a look around Celebration Key, Carnival Cruise Line's newest private location. Celebration Key is owned and operated by Carnival and is located on the southern coast of Grand Bahama. Apparently the Google Earth map has it during its construction phase. But that's to be expected because as of this recording, this is brand new. When we visited, it had only been open and receiving guests for a couple of weeks. You can either walk down this long pier or catch a shuttle like we did, and you'll make it to the sunburst welcoming you to Celebration Key with a 350-foot sandcastle in the background. Since you're coming in from the south, heading north, the directions are pretty easy and you'll want to know them. That's because everything to the left of the entrance, or to the west, like this beach here, is adults only. Everything on the east side, or to the right, is for families. The adult side is designated Calypso, this is Calypso Beach, and the family side is Starfish, so that's Starfish Beach on the other side. So you come in through the sunburst, and you're greeted by this fountain, with the sandcastle straight ahead, the family side on the right, and the adult side on the left. So which way should we go? Well, first let's just take a look around. Again, over there is Calypso Beach. And over there is Starfish Beach. But we're going to start off by going straight ahead. This entrance area is called Paradise Plaza, and it does have some interesting things, although we didn't really catch much of it on this opening walk. But to the right is Jumpshine Scoops, which you'll definitely want to visit for some ice cream if it gets hot. It was very hot when we visited, so we did go there. Just to warn you though, it does cost extra. Just a quick look over at Calypso Lagoon over on the adult side, and to Sunshine Swings, where you can swing between the bar and the water. And there's Starfish Lagoon on the other side, where you'll find the family fun, as well as the exits for the Sandcastle's water slides. As I think I mentioned, the Sandcastle is 350 feet tall, and it also has 2 water slides. You'd think they'd be able to fit in more of them in something this size. Looks good though. Although underneath it is not as impressive. The water slides do cost extra unless you've rented a cabana or villa. Once beyond the Sandcastle, you come to the shopping area. Of course you expected them to have somewhere to shop and spend your money, right? And it's not the only place, such as the ice cream shop I pointed out, but there are also more, which we'll get to. There are a number of souvenir and clothing shops with a bunch of stuff for a day by the water or just taking home with you. And of course, a couple of those shops are Caroloa and Del Sol, which you find all over the Caribbean. If they ever sponsored our videos, we'd endorse them, but they don't, so we won't officially do that. Okay, let's take you all the way to the far north, just beyond the shopping area. You will occasionally see signposts around Celebration Key, pointing you to various places you might want to go. It's their way of trying to keep you from getting lost, but we still managed it. So here's the northern part of the area where you can catch a taxi to wherever else you want to go, or if you're taking a shore excursion outside of Celebration Key. It's also a shuttle stop. Both the Starfish and Calypso sides run shuttles from the front to the back and then back again. So you can also do that if you'd like. And here is one of the maps telling you where you are, as well as different points of interest around the area. They also gave us a handheld map on the ship. Now we'll head to the east around Starfish Lagoon, which again is the family-friendly area. That circular drive in front of us is the drop-off and pickup point for the shuttles I mentioned. And here we see another signpost in case you need one. Up here we see some day beds. As of this recording, they cost $150 for 4 people and can be reserved through Carnival Shore Excursions. There are a number of restrooms, such as this building ahead of us, and at least most of them have lockers you can rent in case you don't want to leave your stuff lying around while you swim. If you or someone you're with needs one, they have these sand wheelchairs available that don't get stuck in the sand like normal wheelchairs do. This yellow building is a snack shack, one of many places you can buy something to eat. Before you ask, is none of the food included? I can tell you that everyone gets one free meal at any food truck or select restaurant during their day at Celebration Key. Yes, just select restaurants. Some restaurants will charge no matter what, but if you don't use your free meal somewhere else, those restaurants will give you a discount. So I guess there's that. Over here is the north end of the Starfish Lagoon. We'll be taking a closer look at this a little later. But for now, we'll head back to the path around the lagoon. At least, that's what we intended to do. There's a yellow sign there that announces this is the Starfish Lagoon Peninsula. We didn't know this at the time, but this is where you'll find some of the cabanas you can get as shore excursions, and therefore it is a private area. As of this recording, some cabanas go for $600 for 4 people, or $900 for 8. I believe these are the Over-the-Lagoon cabanas, which are $740 for 4. And these aren't even the most expensive ones. We'll be showing you those a little later. So now we're about to get back on the right track, which continues to the right past the restrooms we showed you earlier. To the right are even more cabanas, and up ahead is a place where you can make some music. It's all percussion because you probably don't want to put your mouth on a communal oboe or anything. Here's where you'll find Gill's Grill, which is one of the places you can get your lunch. Another path going down to the lagoon. We're not falling for that one again. And over to the left is a pickleball court, in case that's a thing you'd like to do while you're here. Another restroom and locker location. And we're still in Starfish Lagoon North. These are pretty big lagoons. And now we've reached the food truck area on the Starfish side, which is right where we go from the northern lagoon to the southern. You can get your free lunch from any food truck here, or the ones in essentially the same position over on the Calypso side. Each side has different trucks, and the individual type should be in the documentation Carnival gives you. But at least while we were there, they offered everything from subs to sushi to tacos or burgers, and even gourmet donuts. We do hope to have another video about what food is on offer at the island, and if and when we do, we'll link it here. Yep, we're now officially in Starfish Lagoon South. A basketball court, again, if that's something you'd like to do while you're here. And not too far from that is a beach volleyball court that isn't really on the beach, but there's sand and a net, so it's close enough. As you can probably tell, there are a lot of restrooms, which I think is a good design choice, especially over here on the family side. And yes, that was a first aid vending machine next to the lockers. Now that we've reached the southern end, let's take a quick look at the beach. Over here is Starfish Beach, so again, it's the family beach, as opposed to the adults only one on the other side. Otherwise, they're the same. Assuming you didn't pay extra for a cabana or something, whether you're headed to one of the beaches or one of the lagoons, we would definitely recommend grabbing your spot early. We made sure we were one of the first ones off of the ship, which is why you haven't seen a lot of people yet and the food trucks were closed. And now we're headed back to the lagoon to stake our claim and show you more of Starfish Lagoon itself. I want to apologize for the shakiness of this section as we had to switch cameras for it. But those inflated things are the Cabanas, and yes, you have to reserve them through Carnival Shore Excursions. As of this recording, they are $500 for 8 people. Behind those is Shoalmates, one of the bars you'll find scattered about. Over here is that peninsula we accidentally turned onto earlier, and you can see the Over-Lagoon cabanas a little better. But that one on the end, that's a bit different. That's a super villa, and for up to 10 people, it costs $2,000. It does have its own little water slide, so there's that. Are they worth the price? Well, we didn't rent one, so we can't tell you. But if you have, let us know in the comments. By the way, those regular beach chairs, those are free. We're now heading back into the main part of the lagoon around that super villa. The temperature of the water was cool without being cold and felt really good on a day that was in the mid-90s Fahrenheit. The lagoons are man-made, so the floor is actually cushiony and comfortable. It's also fairly shallow, particularly around the shoreline, where it stays 3 feet or less. Although if you go out into the middle like we're doing here, it gets to be about 5 feet. And these islands out here are for lifeguards and other employees, so don't try climbing on them. You don't want to ruin your day. Over here's another super villa. Maybe this is the peninsula we came down earlier. Who can tell? To the left is Starfish Lagoon swim-up bar. There is, of course, another one in Calypso Lagoon. Here's a very quick look at those in-the-water loungers at the super villa. Probably feels nice, but is it $2,000 nice? And skipping over to the western end of the lagoon, we've reached the Sandcastle again, and you can see the exits for the water slides. Now let's head back out and continue our tour around the facility. But first, let's stop at the beach again really quickly, because last time we didn't show you the official entry point. So here's the official entry point for Starfish Beach. Once again, there are chairs, which are free but first come first served, and it's just a nice time if you're looking for a day at the beach. As you can see, another ship docked by this point, so we were very glad to have been on the first ship there and gotten our spot by the lagoon. If you're concerned that your ship will arrive later and there won't be any good chairs open when you get there, that might be a reason to consider renting one of the cabanas. You'll probably want to have a party big enough to justify it. Heading back to the main path and continuing around clockwise, we come to the food hall. Generic name? Sure, but it is as advertised. It has a number of different choices of counter, each offering a different menu, and all of them will provide you with your free lunch. They've got burgers on this end with pizza at the next counter. The taco and burrito bowl counter, and then the Mediterranean flavors counter. Oh, and another burger counter at the other end in case you really wanted that burger. Just watch out for those fans. They look like they're going to chop your hand off. Of course, it's tricky because some things on the menu are available for the free lunch and some aren't. You'll have to study the menu to determine which is which. Or ask someone, that'll work too. There is seating, depending on how busy it is, and there are condiments, and drinks are included in the free lunch or in the price if you come back to buy more. We've finally now come back around to the postcard that marks the official entrance to Starfish Lagoon. It's a long way back to the start, and we're not done yet. Just inside the entrance is the splash pad area for all the little ones. If you have a small child that is too little for the lagoon itself, or if your kids just enjoy a good splash pad, this is a good place to go. And just behind the splash pad is another bar. You know that was intentional. And here again is Yum Shine Scoops, the ice cream shop. And now we will start to head over to the Calypso side to see what the adults are up to. But first, let's take a look at Grand Bahama Bliss, one of the small shops that are here outside of the main shopping strip. Lotions, shirts, hats, all overpriced just enough to where you might still buy some. Okay, let's continue our walk around. Just past the oversized chair is the postcard welcoming you to Calypso Lagoon. While it is similar to Starfish Lagoon, there are some differences, and not just that kids aren't allowed over here. As I mentioned earlier, there are different food trucks on this side. The other restaurants are also different. And here's the official entrance to Calypso Beach. Again, I believe I already mentioned that as far as I know, the only difference between the beaches is whether or not kids are allowed. Also, you might have noticed that you can tell which side you're on by the dominant color. The signs, restrooms, and other buildings are red here, while they're blue on the other side. And you'll notice this street sign also has a yellow marker. That's to the private Pearl Cove Beach Club, which we did not buy into, so we can't review it. Again, if you have been there, let us know in the comments. Here's where you'll find Mingo's Tropical Bar and Kitchen, as well as beachside burgers and more. Yet another place to get your lunch. And another bar over there, closer to the beach. In case you were wondering if Mingo sells souvenirs, yes. Yes, it does. Now let's finish up with a short dip in the Calypso Lagoon and see if we can spot what this one has that Starfish Lagoon doesn't. Again, the water and the floor are just like the other lagoon with similar depths. Here's Long Neck Swim Up Bar, which matches the swim up bar on the other side, but I don't remember if that one had tables in the water. Calypso Lagoon also has DJ Island, which is exclusive to this side, so I guess families don't party. Up ahead, you can see the same types of cabanas and villas we saw before, and they are the same prices on this side. And far ahead and to the right is that Sunshine Swings Bar we showed you earlier, where you swing between the bar and the lagoon. Would it be wrong to refer to it as a swingers bar? Yeah, probably. We hope you enjoyed following us as we wandered around Celebration Key, and we also hope that it helps you if you're planning on visiting. What are you looking forward to? What do you plan on doing there? Let us know in the comments. As far as we're concerned, we enjoyed ourselves, but it was disappointing to see how many things had an extra cost. However, it is possible to simply step off the ship, grab your spot at a beach or a lagoon, and enjoy yourself with no extra costs. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more travel videos. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified of new uploads. And while you're here, check out some of our other videos.